Your defense is incredible. I could watch the highlight reel catches you make all day. That's so cool. So I saw a stat, you're fourth in fielding run value. Are you aware of just like the sheer like upper echelon of baseball guys you find yourself in with your fielding stats? Like, are you aware of how good your defense is?
Yeah, I've been shown a few stats, and I don't really look like some of the stats. I don't even know how they get these numbers and how they put these together. So I don't really try to look at that too much. But like I know there's a bunch of different measurements of fielding or whatever they're the defensive runs, whatever outs above that. There's a bunch of different ones
Yeah.
that I've heard about or talked about. So um, it's cool to be kind of towards the top of those lists, and you look at the guys that are up there with you, and they're guys that can really go get it. So um, yeah, it's cool to be there, and it's cool to kind of be competing in that like you said, like upper echelon of defensive metrics, defensive categories, and it's something that like our media has kind of talked to me about or just mentioned to me, and it's cool. It's good
Yeah.
stuff, and honestly, like anything I can do, especially the ones that make me happy the most, and the ones that help the team the most are the late game catches that I can make to save some runs and really like make an impact on how the game goes, the final score. So I think that those are the best ones. I don't know how much fielding run value I get from those ones, but those are the ones that feel the best. That I don't even sometimes don't even have to dive for them. But you make a good play at the end of the game or make a good play to save a couple runs. Like those matter a lot. So anything I can do.
Yeah, I honestly I don't understand how they calculate some of these things either. But it's got to be cool seeing like on Baseball Savant where your stuff's all like dark red. So like that's got to be mentally
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
But
yeah.
is outfield defense like is that something that comes naturally or is that something you can get better at? I've always been so curious. Like you just see some guys like Kevin Kiermaier. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand how like is it just like the work you put in? Is it like naturally quick and like how does that kind of work?
Yeah, I think honestly, he was one of the guys I watched a ton when I was younger. Um, just like him as a young player making plays, and when he was with Tampa, when he was just like all over the field making plays. That was a cool person to watch and a cool person to see. But I think that honestly, it's a little bit of both. Obviously, naturally you're going to be athletic and talented out there, but I think that putting in the work every day and making sure that you're in the right position to be making these plays is good. And I try to make sure I'm out during batting practice every day that we have it. Getting breaks on a ball, not necessarily running all over the field and time. I talked about this before, making sure my first like 4 or 5 steps, are really good and dialed in. I know I have speed. I know I can kind of run down a ball, but like just making sure my direction's right and my footwork's good. Those little things those are the things that like you can gain an extra step or two and it helps you like make a play. Um, so I think that we have a great group of coaches over here in St. Louis, and I get to work with Willie McGee every day, who's our outfield coach over here. And that's one of the things he talks about, just making sure you're getting your body in the right position and then using your athleticism and then going after it and making the play. But, your first, like I said, your first 3, 4, 5 steps in the outfield are probably your most important ones because, your direction's got to be right, your break's got to be right, and, reacting to the ball obviously is one of the most important things. So um, I think that just taking pride in that work every day and taking pride in doing the little things are a big part of it. Yeah.
And your pitching staff loves you. I've seen the post games, like Miles Michaelis is just like he's hyping you up, just like thanking you so much for all the catches. Do you have a favorite catch that you've made?
I was at, it might have been a month ago. I don't know. I've seen some of the replays of the dives of the dive catches and stuff, and those are cool. I remember like I think my favorite one was we were playing Chicago on Sunday night at home. It was earlier in the season, and Hells was pitching, so we were up. I think we were up one. Might have been like first and third, 2 outs in the ninth. We were up one, and and Suzuki was up, and so I have the pitch com in my hat, so I know what pitches are coming from our guys. And it was a fastball. I'm pretty sure it was a fastball supposed to be away, and I was playing him over in the gap a little bit oppo, and I got a really good jump on it and was able to like track it down on the warning track to end the game in the ninth with 1-1. So that was probably my favorite one. And I didn't necessarily have to dive for it or anything or jump into the wall or nothing, but it was like a really like just in my memory, it was a really good like break on it, at, like really good route, and I ended up making the play like pretty easily. But like those are the ones, like I said, like if that gets down, 2 runs are probably scoring with 2 outs. They take the lead in the ninth, and we got to score in the bottom 9. So um, those are the ones that stick with me. Like, yeah, I got a really good jump on that. Like, I made that play, and it ended up being like a pretty easy play. But those are the ones that like, yeah, I worked on that in BP today. I took my first 5 steps that way, that direction, that angle, and it was right. So those are the ones that like make it worth it.